Officially underway here at the Ontario Soccer Centre in rainy Vaughan, Ontario. And what a day. It was raining pretty consistently through the early parts of the morning ahead of this bout between Darlington and Vaughan as they duke it out in the under-18 girls championship of the Ontario Cup. Cal McClellan pleased to be able to bring this to you today on our Ontario Soccer live stream, as that's the Vaughan Azzurri in their familiar white tops, red shorts, and the visitors for all intents and purposes of this one is Darlington in the blue and black, and quick touch there from the keeper on the back end for Darlington, and they'll play out of the back to start this one. Get you caught up on the officials. Amanda Kwan is going to be on the middle. She'll keep the peace. Rob Harris, the assistant referee, and Carlos Arujo. Cyrus Shafi will be the fourth official on the side, making sure substitutions, times, and anything else that needs to be caught. Played backwards and now across into the middle. Flicked out towards the outside, and that's the captain running after that. DiNardo look to find some space down the line. Going to play a nice ball in for LaMacchia. She'll have some space and try to cut this one across. She did not get a touch, so it'll go out for a goal kick. Very, very early here, the first kickoff, combined with the rain. It's for a few sparse crowds, but some very devoted parents obviously out. They were vocal. And as the rain dissipates throughout the day, we expect a full crowd for all four of these matchups that we're pleased to bring you today. Good opportunity here from Vaughan. From distance, they'll get a shot in. That is not troublesome to Darlington whatsoever, but it's good to have one under your feet early. Leah Pace has been on our broadcast several times due to the success of this Vaughan program, and a lot of these girls at all different levels making their name in Ontario Cups past, and Vaughan would love nothing more than to add to another one. Very close to where they are, is going to ground is Lauren Aruda, and she earns the free kick here for Darlington. Darlington Energy, conversely, would love nothing more than to grab one early as Madison Gardner's boot heads towards the top of the 18. Dealt with momentarily. Collicutt plays that one into the corner, and giving chase is Shields. She'll get to it first. Shields tries to cut in, but good help and good organization by Vaughan at the back, and they'll play it out. The ball is Vaughan. Making a rush on the far side now. Boutros going forward. Pace, ball back to her. She's going to hit one from distance, and this one, once again, everything you'd want if you're a keeper to come all the way in and get you an early touch and an opportunity to assess the field, send it out, flicked on, and this ball will run forward now as Delaney Judd sends it down, and controlling her lines, Kelsey Williams doing well to get that one back to the starting keeper is Katrina Harmon for Vaughan, as she has the ball at her feet right now. Patient, taking time, looking for that winger pinching in. Skipped over her boot, but it's not going to run out of play, so we'll have to go on, and doing just that is Madison Gardner, doing well to control, but possession forfeited, turned. A little bit of a fight here. Hugo comes out the better of it. Turn for Pace. Hugo, good support as they go through the middle, and now they're turning and going the other way. This is Tansella with a nice ball forward, but just a little too heavy, and it's going to run all the way to the keeper at the back. Pitch will be a little slick, and you can see the ball skipping off boots and running out of play a lot quicker than it would have if the sun does peek its way through the clouds, as we're hoping it does up here in our wet broadcast booth. For our sake, for our selfish sake, if only. You'll see the turf start to dry out, maybe a little easier to play the ball on the ground, or at least to time these runs out. Pace, nice little play there. Right foot to her left, and does well to keep possession. Ricocheted back in, a little bit of time for Williams. For Gardner. And it's back to Gardner again with a nice step over, and she finds a teammate who's trying to deal with it, but this tenacious Vaughan press, and a good job there pushing forward by Carveth. Carveth does well to get it into the middle. Nice step over, pace. De Silva, and a good job defending there by number 17 in blue, Emily Shields. Very apt name. Knocked into the box, and clearing the lines is Roberts. Kristen Roberts finds herself into a corner. Gets a knock off the Vaughan player and does well to shield as she wins a goal kick for her side, excuse me. It's Gardner with a throw on the near side. In step, flicked in. Pace doing well. Goes to ground, going after it. Darlington coming out the better of that. And Chia doing well to hold and play it back. Gardner. Nice little 1-2, except the touch was a little heavy. Tansella. Now back out the other way. De Silva now with the ball at her feet pushes forward. This is nice. Into the area, and a good job coming over and making an excellent defensive play by Thompson. Cotterell, the first time we'll call her name today, guarding the left side of that back line. And it is a very organized back line very early for Darlington. Either the balls have been heavy from Vaughan or the shots have been kept to the outside, which is exactly what the keeper would want. Especially early, when one of those early goals can sneak in and seem to stand the test of time at these Ontario Cups, where maybe 1-0 would be enough in a scenario. Of course, if it does remain tied and we are far too early here in the 8th minute of play with a 0-0 score between Vaughan and Darlington, we would go straight to penalties. There would be no extra time, and probably part of the reason the keeper would want something more organized. That looked like it took a bounce off. I was going to say Vaughan. I'm corrected by the assistant referee. It'll be our first corner of the game. So a good job by Hugo to get in there and win it, and she'll head over to the far corner and see if she can create something dangerous for the girls from Vaughan. Looking for the opener. It'd be right foot swinging in. Top of the 6. Header flicked on, but it's not going to cause much damage, and no worries at all. Exactly what you'd want if you're Darlington. And a strong left boot sent up nearly to half. Flicked on, corralled, and batted around in the middle. Now Vaughan with possession. Having to go a little bit further back. This is Taffo. Williams, that one took a errant touch off her boot. Judd's going to have to fight for it in the middle for Darlington. She does, but only able to push it far enough. Delaney Judd, 14 in your program. Little tug on the arm there, but no worse for wear. Pushing out. This is Douglas. Losing possession. Vaughan back the other way now. Nice little cut in to evade the foul. Play on. De Silva pushing forward. Tansella now regroups. Player from behind having to push forward now is Jocelyn Hugo, and that one's forced a little forward and back this side for Judd. A nice play coming backwards there by number 27, Carveth. I'm going to take a touch off Gardner. It's going to go out for a throw for Vaughan, so they'll get an opportunity to push forward. And Carveth up to take this one. Not a whole lot of aerial play, short of out of the back. I think most coaches, or both of these coaches at least, would want to see a little possession-based play on the ground. Short passes, nothing that's going to run too errant and cause possession problems, as this one's flicked out to the outside. Nice little Job organized by Vaughan on the far side, and a nice little step over to set them forward. Pace will shoot from anywhere, and she can score from anywhere. Does well to win a throw on the far side and takes a tumble to the turf for her efforts. So inside the 11th minute, we are still scoreless. And another throw on the far side. Richard McPaul is the head coach, by the way, for Darlington Energy. And Anthony Vidori, his counterpart for the Vaughan Azzurri. Both of these coaches have these girls well prepared for the early draw this morning. Though it's always a little bit of a pain to wake up, it's nice to get your silverware early in the morning on a Sunday. Have the rest of the weekend to enjoy it, and one of these two teams will do just that. This ball is sent high towards midfield. No one there to greet it for Darlington. Came to Judd, but it ricocheted back, and then stepping forward with a nice play by the center back. And that's number 9, Kristen Roberts. It finds its way up to Judd, and then Carveth sends it back the other way for the Azzurri. Difficult keeping possession in the center of the field at this point. Collicott back to her defender. Douglas. Given away now. De Silva into the area. De Silva, and that one's just going to go wide. Good play from De Silva, pressuring that back four from Darlington. First very good chance of the game, you could argue, for the Azzurri. Comes in the 12th minute. And you can see that pressure has been there the whole time for the most part. Darlington been very organized, but having a little trouble getting it out of the back. Gardner losing possession there, but tapping it back to her teammate, Chia, with a nice little play to get it up the side to Judd. And then Gardner with some good ticky-tack passing, and all of them have been accurate, and they've had to be. But right in their hip pocket was number 12, Kelsey Williams, and she did well to break up that whole flow as it switches to the far side of the pitch now. Ball played in and a little tap on going to the corner. Looking for pace if she's there, but she's just going to have to jockey the player, and does well to force an errant pass out. Not what Thompson Cotterill wanted, but crisis averted, and when you've got Leah Pace bearing down on you, maybe it's not such a bad move. Thrown in now to the boot of Pace. Just watched closely by Douglas. Chance for Vaughan. This one takes a ricochet at the top of the 18, comes for Judd. And Judd will start out with it, looking for help. Great ball down the sidelines if it can be caught onto, and a good job running onto this for Aruda. Aruda, and dealt with very well by Williams. Carveth now playing up, and a nice turn there. Olivia Lamacchia, the ball finds its way to Pace. Pace to her right foot, shot from distance, and doing a good job to get it down and smother it. And Hunter Jones equal to the task as she has been every time this game. Carveth. Hugo. And wide now. This is DiNardo. DiNardo looking for options. Plays backwards. Nope. She'll look in and try the seeking ball. Hugo came over to help out, but trying to pick the lock on this Darlington defense, as they are a well-organized bunch so far, which is, I imagine, exactly what they needed to be, with a very, very good Vaughan attack and a nice step over there, leaving the opponent on her knees. And Kristen Roberts very calm at the back. Judd giving chase now. Boutros doing well to come out with that. Hugo now. Hugo has a go from well out, but it had some pace. It was always heading wide. Well, we want to thank our proud partners, Toronto FC. Toronto FC, proud to support youth soccer in Ontario. Toronto FC, the premier partner of Ontario soccer. As well, we want to say thank you to Ontario soccer partner Soccer Express for their first-class support as Canada's premier dealer. Soccer Express has everything needed to take your game to the next level. Visit www.soccerx.com to check out the latest gear from Adidas, Nike, Puma, Admiral, and more. Vaughan now. Still in possession. This is De Silva. De Silva, nice seeking ball. A lot of Vaughan players forward into the area, staying on their feet. This one is chipped up and over, and it was a nice run as DiNardo made her way into the box. It's a new ball coming in. This one skips over the fence. DiNardo off balance and could do nothing more than try to chip it far post. Chipped it a little too much, and it'll skip out of play, and it'll be Hunter Jones sending this one back in for Darlington. Williams does well to shield again. Taffo finding space. Well turned there. That's De Silva looking for pace. Pace doing well to win that one. Getting past Douglas. Douglas D'ing up. A good job by Douglas forcing Pace tall now. Pace turning. Nice little one-on-one battle into the area, and the instep just going over the bar. And it was a nice little ball. Olivia Lamacchia got an instep onto the end of it, and Pace put it right on a dime after a good fight with Douglas on the far side. But that seems to be a lot of where Vaughan's success is coming, is finding Leah Pace down on the far side, going into the corner, seeing if she can get balls in. We have the first substitution coming in, made by Darlington. And that's going to be Sequevo, number 23 in your program. We'll check in and give a breather to number 11, Arnell Douglas. And a good start for Douglas, because she has the unenviable task of, well, being exactly where most of the attack has gone through for Vaughan today. And you can tell by the still zeros on the board. She's done well in that task so far. And heading backwards now, this is DiNardo. Taffo going to go back to the keeper. And Harmon stays in possession now. Long seeking ball, and having to catch up with it is Lamacchia. Jones distributing far, and that's a great ball to the far side to switch it up, just skipping off the boot of Shields. She'll lose possession and commits a foul after the fact. No argument from Shields. Free kick played quickly. Azuri now. Ball in. Judd doing well to clear for Darlington, but Williams has it funneled back to her. Carveth. Ambitious ball through the middle and finds its way somehow. Tansella now. And a pace. Far side from distance. And going to try and get some shots from Jones, but Jones seeing the ball all the way through. And from distance, a little bit of skipping on the turf is not necessarily what you want if you're a keeper, but from that range and with that pace, it hasn't been too much of a problem. Over the head of Judd. Carveth lets it run. She'll take the throw on the near side as we're knocking on the door of 20 minutes played in the opening half. Still scoreless between these two sides. Nice step over and a nice ball from Judd. Played inwards. Going down to grab it and then knocked forward once again. Collicutt has it come to her feet. And then skipped over, and here's an opportunity. Hopkins, and just wide of the net. Stella Hopkins, the good chance there as a couple defenders pinched and wasn't able to get it forward. As two more substitutions coming in for Darlington. It will be Hope Jones, number 13. And it will be Kaylee Spridgen. And checking out, albeit momentarily, will be Emily Shields and Delaney Judd. So it can be difficult to keep everyone warm and prevent anyone from seizing up. And the substitutions will have to come fairly quickly for both sides, as 20 minutes is probably the most you want someone sitting cold on the bench. And if not, you might see them warming up on the near and end sides. And a little knock on the boot there. Shin guards clamor together. And a free kick to Vaughn. This one popped highwards, looking for Pace. Pace put her head out there. Cries to calm down. Be comfortable with the ball at your feet. That's the MO that Darlington had coming in. Their possession has been decent. It hasn't been what they'd hoped it had been. And Vaughn is making that much more problematic. Vaughn's certainly doing the better job to hold the ball so far, and this one sent in. Harmlessly, Jones picking it up. But disrupting the rhythm certainly of Darlington trying to move the ball through the middle as two bodies collided, and no problem, says the referee. Play on. He's trying to get her first touch was Spridgen. However, it flows to the far side now. A lot of action over that way. De Silva now. Spridgen off her boot. Carveth. Hugo now. Long ball. Except both of the Azzurri players started to show and come towards the ball. And it was misread by Hugo, who sent it over. So Ashley Nearing checking in for her first minutes of the game, and giving way will be number 21, Natalie Collicutt. Four substitutions already for the visiting side, none for the home side. And Pace had that one go off her chest all the way to the Darlington keeper. And again, just that pressure off these goal kicks and off these balls that have crawled into the keeper, and just not able to get them as forward or retain possession from the back. And that's something Darlington will definitely want to get under control as this game goes on, because you can only weather so much pressure if you're not able to hold possession. That being said, their defense has been good. It's been well organized. And there have not been too many dangerous opportunities and shots on Jones. So here's a little bit going forward. This one's whipped in, and a great ball. Spridgen just had it go off her foot, but it took a good bounce, and having to deal with it is Carveth. More from Darlington. Hopkins trying to make something happen on the far side, going to ground and run over, and a foul committed by Selena Tansella. Will be a free kick in a good zone taken quickly by Darlington. And having to send that one out is Taffo. No foul there, as the referee says. Thompson and Cotterill went shoulder to shoulder. Played in. Hopkins. Aruda bowled over, but ball there first, and good defending. Another shoulder to shoulder play allows Vaughn to come out with it. And that one a foul, as finally someone was wrong coming in. So Sequevo picking up the foul allows Darlington to get back into position in the 25th minute, and a nice little job forcing the issue and pushing the player up was Roberts, and allows her girls to get organized at the back. Popped up. Good job by Hugo to get under that one. Gardner. Aruda. And Gardner. Carveth picking it off. Aruda playing backwards. Nearing now, and she was looking far side, but it didn't get there. DiNardo looking for Pace. And Pace going to go into a Good little battle as she's been all day, but doesn't come out with possession on that side. It'll go to Darlington on the far. Olivia Sequevo on the throw. As the rain has all but stopped at this point. A little pitter-patter here and there, but for the most part, calmer than it was an hour ago at kickoff. And when these teams came out to train and pushing forward, and a good job there by Gardner to read that pass. She waited in that center back position. That's what we've seen from Darlington, is they're very fluid on that back four. Able to pick each other up, staying on side is Aruda. They're good going forward. Aruda, if she's got a left foot, might get a shot here across the face of goal, but it hits the side netting. Forced to go to her left. Appreciates the effort and the ball put forward, and a good real chance for the Energy. There is Lauren Aruda. Left foot had the best chance so far for this Darlington side, and a nice kick put forward by Harmon. Long seeking ball for Lamacchia. Lamacchia waiting for support. She does well patiently, except the ball not what she wanted as she looked forward for Pace. Pace doing a good job to recover it. Boutros. Still Boutros. Oh, nice turn there. De Silva in for Pace. Pace for the opener! Well, she's been knocking on the door for 27 minutes, but Leah Pace has finally put Vaughan Azzurri on the board. They have a 1-0 lead in the Under-18 Ontario Cup. It was good play at the midfield to keep possession. Boutros stayed with it. De Silva sent a ball in. And Pace made no mistake with the right foot on the right side of the box. Here's Darlington with the response. And it's kicked out of play. Williams doing good. Gardner up to take this throw. A quick response is required. Nice step over by Darlington now. Through the middle. Far side. Gardner can get to it. Good job by Boutros. Pace. Push forward. Lamacchia. And she's able to get one on goal, but not all the way there. Carveth on the near side. 29th minute. 1-0 lead for the Azzurri. Scoring only moments ago. Tansella. Nice little drag back there. DiNardo holding possession, pushing forward. This will flow all the way. Lamacchia might be able to get on the end of it, but good defending. And good positioning by Kristen Roberts. Given away. Boutros from distance. This one's hit and just skips past the near side post. But a good hit from distance from Tatiana Boutros. Boutros staying with a lot of balls. Most of this game, very tenacious. Even if it skips off a boot or gets in, she's able to retrieve a lot of second chance balls. So that's what contributed to the first goal. And she almost got herself a cracker of a goal from distance there. Just skipping past the near post. Is this thrown in by Carveth? Controlled by Darlington, flicked on there by Tansella. Gardner. Comfortable with the ball at her feet, and she's finds space for Chia in the middle. In step off Williams. Carveth. Nearing. Boot in. Hugo came over the top of Hopkins. Hopkins still down, a little worse for wear. Flicked on there. Tansella playing in and off the boot, going backwards of Sequevo and all the way to the keeper, no touch. She's able to pick it up and send this one high. It'll right around the half mark and greeted with the head of Lauren Aruda. Hopkins knocked to ground again for the second time, and a little worse for wear in past minute for Sella Hopkins. Spridgen tried to flick at Aruda, but there was no one running forward. Spridgen encouraged to take the ball with her, run with it. With only one player forward, and bumped on the back, and that was a 50-50 ball, but putting a shoulder into the back made it a little less 50-50, and the foul called. Slow to get up. It looked to be Leah Pace, who was worse for wear there. DiNardo over this one. A great ball into the area. Could cause some trouble. Chia's head her out. Knocked up by Spridgen, but it's going to head back to Vaughn if they want it. Knocking it on, and a good job to get in the way is De Silva, and she'll corral it back to Carveth. De Silva pressured now by Chia, and a good job in blue, and she fights through the middle, takes a bump on the side, and earns herself a free kick. So good couple of plays in rapid succession by Victoria Chia, who would like to assert herself, I'm sure, in that tone for the rest of this game. She has the ability to make plays through the middle and make plays on the end. And she's looking to get on the end of this one. As she'll find it to her head, it just skips over it and goes all the way to the back line. Taffo is in a battle to try and get that one out. Up the sideline, it'll skip, and it's going to stay with the Azzurri here in the 33rd minute of play, and a 1-0 lead for that side, home side. The Ontario Soccer Centre, the shortest drive, a little longer if you're coming down the 401 from Darlington. Knocked in, and an aggressive play is bumped in the back once again was Pace. And another free kick. So it's probably been about 10 so far, and it's at this point that referee Amanda Kwan will probably start to look at multiple fouls knocked for players, and maybe the cards start to come out, but certainly nothing egregious at this point or over the top. But those cards will come out and can come out for multiple infractions by the same player. So first substitution being readied here for Vaughan. And it comes at the 35-minute mark. Pace bumped in the back and pushed forward, and Aruda pushed all the way to the ground, and this time a foul called. And coaches barking instructions from the sideline. That's going to be Daniela Surqua, who will come into the game momentarily at the next opportunity. Gardner plays wide. Spridgen. Spridgen plays the ball right, but it did not have enough pace to get there, and it's going to be sent right back out for a throw. was a good opportunity here. They can maybe get something into the area and try and steal one, and a little bit of a flick on looking for Aruda. Gardner tried to go back near side. Not a lot of room. Strong throw from Gardner over the head of Aruda to the instep to Carveth and off to Hugo, and they can start off the other way if they can get out wide. Except nobody is out on that side, so it's going to skip all the way to Sequevo, who's going to send it back. Jones doing well to hold on to it. She gets bumped by a couple players and loses possession of the ball, so we do have a substitution being made at this stage. And giving way will be number 44, Olivia Lamacchia, and checking in will be Daniela Surqua. So first substitution for the side up a goal, and referee playing on. And starting to get a little bit aggressive as players realizing they can fight for space and see who can be the aggressor. And still down on the ground is a player I believe is Lauren Aruda, who took a bump as she tried to get in front of a clearance attempt and maybe even took a piece of the ball or a boot. But Aruda looks to be in a little bit of pain at this point as it's official Amanda Kwan looking to see if she needs attention. Those offers for attention are waved off, and we're ready to get back into it. But Aruda acting as not only a ball carrier, but a de facto target person up front. She'll come back and play it at her feet, but she can also run onto balls, and we've seen her try to flick on a couple headers so far for offensive opportunities. So needless to say, a lot of the offense going through number 3 in blue. Spridgen doing well to try and corral that one back. Hugo was dispossessed and sent to the far side looking for Hopkins, but it was a little too far from her, and it's Vaughn with possession once again. Step over there by Tansella. Her support ball, though, finds itself in a bit of trouble, and heading back the other way is Jones. Jones dispossessed. Williams at the back, playing left for Carveth. Carveth left foot, and stepping to it was Roberts. Forward, Aruda. Pushed off the ball by Williams. Aruda, nice little flick on and looking to see if he can find Spridgen making a run in, but the ball too far, runs all the way to the keeper, Harmon, as we head into the 39th minute of this opening half of the opening game of Ontario Cup Sunday here at the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan. It was, well, it's raining now. It was raining worse before, and Spridgen has the ball to her feet. Hugo, forward, stepping up is Roberts. Boutros trying to find a place to turn. Aruda going to go to the right side. Her Darlington Energy side trails by a goal to nil. Boutros coming all the way back to give chase. Shoulder to shoulder. Aruda got the worst of it. No foul there. Good defending by Williams to find herself in a place, and good job there by Madison Gardner to win the foul and get her body in the right position to win it. Roberts is going to stand over this one as we're in the 40th. Not a whole lot of stoppage time, I imagine, so it'll probably just be the 5 and maybe 1 as this one's flicked on, and a touch for the Vaughan Azzurri goalkeeper, Katrina Harmon. She'll take her time and see what options she's got. Lays it onto the ground and going to maybe play out the back. She'll send it up to midfield. Pace, good job from her. Hugo has been excellent in the midfield in the first half as a seeking ball there for Tansella. It goes off, and Chia, who's starting to find her feet towards the later half of this half, has been very good as well for Darlington, and skipping off the boot of Jones on the far side will give it another throw to the Azzurri. So certainly a lot of feeling out and dealing with this turf and the wetness, of course, that comes with it. When you think about trying to win an Ontario Cup, you really never think of a rainy day. Not to say they didn't prepare for it, but we've had a very wonderful summer. And not too many rainy days to speak of, so I can't have played too many games in this weather, and it certainly is a different beast as we have substitutions on the near side of the pitch. Going to be 2 for Darlington, 1 for the Azzurri. That's Delaney Judd, as well as Natalie Collicott, so both of those players checking back into the game. Boutros will grab a seat. And Cios coming into the game. So Vienna Cios up front, taking the place of Boutros. Going to ground there is Judd as she gets her, Jones first touch coming back onto the pitch. And it looked like a little bit of a knee knock from over here. It is the far side, but going down gingerly so that hand touches before the knee does. Trying to soften the blow. And Judd just after checking back into the game. Would love nothing more than to stay in it. She's going to see if she can walk it off. A little worse for wear, but up to a quick jog already as she gets applause from the faithful on the far side, who are small in numbers today due to the weather, but dedicated and no doubt supported and getting vocal as this game goes on. Played out the back, Roberts. Aforementioned Judd, and that just goes off her boot a little bit. De Silva watches that one out in the 43rd minute of play as we are approaching halftime here in what has been a very calm game so far. Few fouls, nothing over the top, and certainly not too wide open. Both of these teams definitely had a game plan to come in here and play smart, and for the most part they have. They've played very cautious and tried to establish stringing passes together through the middle. The occasional route one ball over the top if they think they can steal one, but against these two defensive sides, hasn't been a lot there. Seo. Ball played forward now. Sequeira. Edge of the area for Sequeira. Plays top of the box. Bump to the ground. Referee will say yes. And they're going to say that's right on the edge. And it was very close. It was very close. You can make the argument that maybe Pace's left foot was outside the box, but it looked like her body was inside of it. Regardless, she'll be tapped dead center from 18 yards out. And if she can get this over the wall, she can double the lead before half. So from this vantage point, keep in mind it might look like it's a little bit more inside than it's outside. Pace, right foot. Off the wall, they'll get a corner out of it. Corner kick upcoming for the Azzurri. 50 seconds left in this half. Board about to go up to tell us how much more. And the right foot on the far side. Top of the 6. Pace, header, tried to be flicked on. Still in the area, causing damage. Cleared backwards. Instep is going to see if we can push this one out. And Carveth knocking it back in. Roberts trying to clear her lines. This one up the middle, and a good job to show for Darlington as they can start the counter the other way. Pushing forward, except Hugo there to drop it with the instep and flicked in. Good job here from Vaughn. This is beautiful football. Pace now playing backwards towards the outside. DiNardo looking for De Silva. Judd with 2 minutes of added time here at the end of this half. And knocked to the ground, and another foul, and that's Aruda as she went back to grab it and spent a lot of time on the wrong end of fouls has Lauren Aruda. And keeps getting up and brushing herself off. Gardner looking for a cross, telegraphed it a little bit, which allowed a couple players to close on her, including Jessie Carveth, who's been a tough nut to crack, certainly. Not a lot getting past her on that left side this game. Great ball in for Gardner. Flicked in, flicked up and over. Gardner in step. Chia bumped, goes to ground. Referee says yes. So Chia doing a very good job trying to take it up as far as she can. Roberts probably had a couple more yards if she wanted it, as the foul was a little further up, but this popped in, and hoping for a drop ball was Chia. It did not come, in good goalkeeping by Katrina Harmon, who has so far weathered the proverbial storm and the actual one here in the first half, as we've got about 30 seconds left and a 1-0 lead for her Vaughan Azzurri. If they can hold on to that, they'll be in the locker room to dry up and be 45 minutes away from an Ontario Cup at the under-18 girls level. Knocked forward, Taffo, that's going to stay in. Sequevo will get one last throw, and I can't imagine she'll have a whole lot of time to get this one into the area. Slipped out of her hands, actually, and due to that, it's going to be a foul throw. So the wind's picked up, even though the rain seemed to die down, which actually in turn makes it seem like the rain's picked up. So that's our scenario here. I'm sure the girls are feeling every minute of it, and those two whistles will be a short reprieve for Darlington, an opportunity to see how they can pick the lock and get back into this game. And for Vaughan, a strategy of 45 minutes to salt away what very well could be another Ontario Cup to add to this decorated club's soccer history. 1-0 Vaughan Azzurri. We'll be back with the details and all the moving pictures for the second half action very shortly.
Ontario Soccer is redefining the way that a sports organisation should engage with its partners.
It is a privilege to work with Ontario Soccer.
I think it's very exciting times for Ontario Soccer.
Ontario Soccer has been a great partner.
Their value system is a great alignment with the Gatorade brand.
Partnership is truly a give and take, and mostly it starts with giving, and that's why they've been such great partners.
What really makes us different is our reach, our relevance, and our resources. In terms of reach, we're connecting with almost 1 million Ontarians that are passionately connected with the game of soccer as players, as coaches, as match officials, and as volunteers.
The organization is growing so rapidly, and just the fan base.
The leadership, the teamwork, the communication skills.
The representation, and just the people in general.
We work with a number of UEFA federations back in Europe. We work with the NSCAA in America, working with Ontario Soccer. Really gives us, significant credibility across Canada.
The relevance really speaks to how we connect with the grassroots and all the people that are playing and consuming the game of soccer.
Ontario Soccer obviously provide a platform for kids to play soccer, which is, the numbers are huge, and the sort of excitement and the enthusiasm for the game is absolutely massive.
They are engaged with 650 plus clubs, academies, and regions across the province, and it helps us immensely to reach our target demographic.
The game of soccer evolves, and you have to evolve with it or you'll be left behind. And I think Ontario Soccer is at the forefront of youth development and grassroots soccer.
The resources is really summarized by our market-leading talent that we have as part of our Ontario soccer team, but also the bricks and mortar that is really exemplary with our Ontario Soccer Centre that truly acts as the pinnacle of the game across Ontario.
Their team really is best in class at understanding our brand and really ideating around how we can come together to collaboratively elevate the athlete experience.
For us, one of the other things that was key was the relationship that we've had with Bjorn Osiek. Bjorn was a customer in the past, he's a great ambassador to our company, and he's also a close friend.
And all this together really makes us the ideal partner for anyone wanting to play in the soccer space.
If there's one thing that you could change today for tomorrow in Ontario soccer, what would it be that you would want to see change like that if you could? Obviously things don't work like that, but what would be that thing for you?
It's a tough question. It's almost for coaches and parents almost like an introduction of almost a presentation of, look, this is what's best, or something to allow them just to relax, calm down, enjoy the process and not focus on results. Because at the end of the day, it's the process that matters. It's enjoying, it's going to the sessions, enjoying it, coming back, socialising, being healthy, being active. If you access the high performance pathway, then great. But for me, it's really getting that message across of enjoy it. It's a game at the end of the day.
A tremendous year for us, 2018, as we continue to build the game of soccer in Ontario, and we're blessed to have this facility that we can use for our members and we can use for the community at large in not only advancing the game of soccer in the province of Ontario and the city of Vaughan, but at the same time make it available to our community groups. As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful first-class facility, new turf field in place, and 20 years of thousands of people, thousands of athletes, thousands of participants who've been part of the great legacy. And I want to extend my thanks to all the people before us who had the vision, who had the ability to make this facility happen. We are truly blessed as a family and truly blessed as an organization. So we want you to come out and support and continue to support soccer in Ontario, and at the same time support the centre. Want to extend our thanks to the staff and to all the people who have come through the doors of the soccer centre and really provided an era, a vision, a place for people to play, people to network, and people to communicate. So sincere thanks to everyone involved. It's a great year for this celebration of 20 years, and we look forward to many, many more opportunities of scheduling events and competitions at this first-class, world-class facility.
You're not in that role now, you're of course in coaching, but you got your start there, so maybe speak to that a little bit, like tell us what that role is. There's a lot of travel involved.
Yeah, there is a lot of travel. It's a great role. It's split up into different parts. So I'd say a quarter of it was looking at working with the districts and trying to go into districts, work with them, produce presentations on behalf of the district for coach development and grassroots information. Right. So, and then the second part of that was also to meet in the districts with the technical directors of all the districts to then get a better message and getting a better understanding of what they need, what's required, and how Ontario Soccer can support and work with them. Right. So that was a major part of the role. The next part of the role was to work within the OPDL and look at grassroots and make sure with the OPDL technical directors that their grassroots programming was strong, it was well supported, and it was a two-way process in order to help them develop, in order to help the grassroots programs evolve and move from one area to another in terms of growth.
So what does like a typical week look like for that role? Like what would you be doing in a typical week? Walk us through Monday to Friday.
So a typical week for a regional manager there's a lot of variation. For a start, you had a large area of the province to cover, but then you would generally communicate a lot with the technical directors of OPDL clubs. You would then communicate on a lot with districts, so there'd be days at home, or we work remotely planning, and then there'd be days on the road, or 3 or 4 days where you'd be doing a little bit of a road trip, going out to different clubs, working with them, and so on. So yeah, very, very varied.
Yeah, and that's what's sort of interesting about it. Like, I don't think people really get that you are going from Kingston to Windsor to up north and touching base with your responsibility is to each of these clubs to help them better what they're doing. So it's a support role for hundreds of clubs in some respects.
Once I joined the OPDL, my development just went up.
Last year I made the Ontario team, so that was super exciting.
It's helped me reach my goal of getting to Toronto FC.
The OPDL has gave me the experience and the exposure to get into the provincial projects.
I mean, without the intense training that I have with my coaching at Oakville, along with Ontario Soccer, I don't think I'd be where I am today.
The Ontario Player Development League is the standard-based program administered by Ontario Soccer. It offers the standards in training, competition for athletes between the age of 13 and 17.
It puts the best players against the best players in the province every single weekend. Makes you train with the best players around your area, which can only help you develop.
The competition in the league is very high, so it gives that challenge for all the players in the league.
Coaching is crucial for OPDL as the main objective, one of the main objectives for us in the program. We want coaches to be challenged on a regular basis within the OPDL, not only from an opposition standpoint, but also from a personal growth and professional development.
The coaches have a particular certification. They're able to bring certain things to the kids that maybe others don't. As well, we have a set curriculum.
The focus is more on our development and not just on games and stuff. So the coaches are really focusing on us and how we develop, which really helps us get better and better.
We believe that the same way we approach our players, we need to approach our match officials, and we need to provide them with platforms to be assessed, to be mentored, to be coached, and move to the next level.
The OPDL is beneficial for both players and match officials because it raises the standard of the game. We're mentored, we're coached, so that we can increase our knowledge and our consistency of the match.
Unlike any other program in this province, OPDL focus on individual performance plan and the ability for players to move on to the next level.
A lot of the time we're always training, we're working hard as a team to get there, and individually, as a player, it's helped me a lot with my development.
It's good because it trains me, and it also not just teaching me about soccer, but also teaches me how to be a better person through my team and my coach and just the environment I'm around.
Being in the OPDL for athletes, it's about being in the right environment. As a parent, you always want your child to be in the correct environment for their development, and in soccer, in Ontario, there's no better opportunity or no better place than OPDL.
So for coaching, what are some of the challenges you see ahead for Ontario Soccer and the coaching community in general in this province?
Obviously, there's a lot of challenges in terms of geography. Well, we just touched upon that. That's a huge challenge to coaches. Then you've got the level of demand on coaches. So there's an increased demand on coaches from parents that's ever increasing, and also helping coaches to deal with that and clubs to deal with the demand and the pressure sometimes that's put on them. There might be times where they know that they're looking on the longer term process, but parents are saying, look, if we don't win these games, or I'm moving my child, and they have the balance of trying to retain players and grow programs, as well as keeping the parents happy and helping the team develop and perform. So I'd say that's the biggest challenge for coaches, is helping them understand, or giving them the tools and education to work with parents to help understand the long-term process of development.
Just to go back there for a sec, you mentioned the movement of players. I'm not sure everybody sort of fully understands why that can be destructive to a sort of ecosystem. Yeah. Just expand on that for a sec.
So sometimes you have parents who, they may have come from other sports, or they may have played the game historically where it was winning was everything at U8, U9, U10, U11, and even to an older extent too. So that they see success as the team winning. whereas coaches are trying to work on individual development of players within a team setting. So there can be some contrasts there. So typically what would happen is parents would say, oh, the team's not winning, I'm moving my child to a better team. So coaches are faced with a struggle of trying to help the individuals perform as a team, but also improve the players individually.
Ready for kickoff here in the second half of this Ontario Cup Under-18 Girls Championship game. Cal McClellan on rainy Vaughan, Ontario as the home side. 45 minutes away from something special in a Ontario Cup Championship standing in their way, the Darlington Energy. A couple good opportunities in the first half. They'll have to be a little bit better if they want to tie this one up. They're in blue and black, home side. In white and red, standing on the strength of a Leah Pace goal. Into the box and made no mistake. And that is the difference as it stands right now. Pace fighting at the top of the area. Roberts doing well to turn back her advances, nearing, pushing up. Nice little control there, except it's so difficult to get past this Missouri midfield. Tansella offside. There's the flag up on the near side. Referee playing on. And it's going to take a deflection, and it'll go the way of Darlington. So, very eventful first half. And that offside says it came off the defender, which is the reason the referee ignored the flag on the near side. And good communication there between the fourth official and the assistant referee on the near side. And this one flicked in. Sequeira had to go off her boot. Pushing forward, and a good job by Roberts to stand her ground. Tansella looking for space. Tansella got a little bit of it. Give and go. Ball in. Pace had to watch it go past her. She either felt like she might have been offside or it was just a little too far for her to get a foot on. And Hunter Jones playing it at the feet of Roberts, who's going to play it outside. Spridgen. Inside now. Hopkins. Turning, Chia, forward, Spridgen, knocked out and right in the hip pocket of Leah Pace, and excellent defending from Marnell Douglas. She's checked back into the game after checking out 20 minutes in. Darlington definitely using more of their roster than Vaughan has, as Hugo takes a boot on the side of the leg. After knocking that one forward, Jones kind of went off the side of her foot, but still got enough of it to push it out to half and allowed Darlington to reset their position. Flicked in. That one hops over Nearing, and a good job as pushed in his Pace. This is an opportunity for her. Kicked in and knocked to the ground. Having a good shot at it was Sequeira, who had to take it first time based on how quickly they were closing on her, but good vision for Pace to see Sequeira as two Missouri players run into each other. And then getting tripped up is Hopkins. And it will be a free kick in the middle of the field. Not the first time Hopkins has been brought down, but certainly not a lot of space, and boots very, very much coming together. As the percentage play is often take the foul, and that's where the cards will come into play. You take too many, you're going to find yourself in the book. Call a cut. And turned. What a nice little play on an instep from Roberts. Fakes outside, and then the center back will push forward. Chia, good control. Going to ground, except an excellent job by Vaughan to stay in their ground and put it back out into the middle. Opportunity to push forward for the Missouri. That's a great ball if they can get there, but a better job by Judd on Darlington to not only control it, but to gather to her feet. Spridgen, far side. Douglas. Still Douglas. Looking for Arruda forward. Williams. Been good all game. Watches that one out. It'll be a throw for Darlington. Arruda standing over it. He's going to hand it off to Douglas and see if she can get in there for a flick on. Good communication by Vaughn. Judd already planning to turn that one in the second the ball was struck, and that's great as she'll cut it back on a Kreif turn. Chia. Judd. Played in, and cutting across was Hopkins, but didn't get on what she wanted. Arruda going back. Good control by Arruda. Plays the ball forward for Spridgen, except it went behind her. And that's been the name of the game for Darlington. They've been so close to being able to find a good ball, but just a tiny bit errant of a pass. It's been enough to make a difference. Going to ground is Pace. I'm not sure if he's pushed her. She just fell. Flick on from Hopkins. Arruda got twisted up, but the ball almost came back to her. Hopkins called off by Chia. Roberts, and it went off her hand as she went to put her head in. A couple other partners to mention. Holland Bloorview, experts in the field of youth concussion. Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital have formed a partnership in collaboration with Ontario Soccer. This will improve concussion awareness and education to ensure the improved safety of youth soccer players across the province. Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Center, and the wonderful work that they do, and concussions are under the microscope, and making sure safety and health is the number one concern. Arruda. Low center of gravity, but a good job by Williams to fight her off of that. Roberts stepping up, Williams playing center. Nice play there by De Silva. And going all the way back to knock that one is Taffo. Hopkins, left side. Hopkins into the area. DiNardo, good defending. Hopkins trying to find a way by, and DiNardo equal to the task as she sends that one out. And she'll get the foul on the end of it, I believe. We'll also like to recognize Northern Signs and Recognition. Thank you to Northern Signs and Recognition for their support of Ontario Soccer. Northers is your one contract reward recognition and signage source. Visit www.northers.com for more, as well as Imaged Advertising Creations. And thank you to IAC, Imaged Advertising Creations, for their support of Ontario Soccer. They are your one-stop shop for all your visual communications needs. From large format printing to digital signage, they can help with all of your needs. Visit IACGOBIG.com for more. So we've got a corner kick coming up. Hugo going to step over this one and would love nothing more than to double the lead here in the 54th minute. Couple players on the 6, couple runs in. Judd got a head on it to send it outward. But equal to the task is De Silva's going to send it back in. Flag stays down. Pace pushed off the ball. Shouts for the penalty from the side. Absolutely nothing there, as they will head back out the other way. And a good job by Spridgen to start it. Arruda forward. Vaughn back with the ball at their feet. That's a very close back pass. Jones! Did she do enough? She did. Whoa, that was dangerous. As Sequevo judged it a little wrong, or it got caught up in the turf. Either way, Jones had to come for it, made the right decision, and then was reactive enough to get back up, claw that one out of the 6. And a phenomenal job by the call-up keeper for Darlington to keep her side in this game. What a moment that would have been. Not only deflating, but doubling the lead. Zacuevo now. This time, she sends it backwards. Excuse me, that was Collicutt that time, but she was able to see Roberts was tracking back, so if the ball wasn't going to run all the way to the keeper, her center back was also there for support. But a couple of back passes where the hearts have been in the throats of this Darlington side. And that's the difficulty. Trying to play on this turf where you never know what the surface is going to be like. Pushing forward. Ball in. Pace onside to her right foot. Oh, it's right at the keeper. Well, Pace had an opportunity to double the lead. But Hunter Jones didn't guess. She stood her ground, and Pace would have liked better from that finish. Also like to acknowledge our partners at Sports Engine. Sports Engine is the official technology partner of Ontario Soccer and the leading provider of sport life management tools for youth and amateur sports. Check out sportsengine.com to see how they can help keep your club running in stride on and off the pitch this season, as Douglas is going to give chase to this one along the far side. And it's going to run. Thrown back in. Good job by Tansella. Possession forward, running onto it. Jones again positioning key for her as she was parked at the top of the box. Looked to be offside. It is. It is. Cerquera. Or Cerqua, excuse me. Daniela Cerqua not able to get back behind the last player when that ball came back in. But again, a couple heads-up plays, by the keeper in yellow on the right side of your screen. And just so aware and positioning so good. You can be the best shot stopper in the world, but unless you have the intuitive ability to know what's coming next, you're going to get caught. And saving 2 goals there. Well, she's going to get tested again. Here's Cerqua coming in. Breakaway. Shot. And this one's going to trickle by her. It was a clinical finish by Daniela Cerqua. It came right on the 57-minute mark into the 58th. And it was a great ball put forward by Pace. Cerqua finds the net. It's a lead doubled for the Vaughan Azzurri. And as the rain starts to slow and the wind starts to slow, it becomes closer and closer to an Ontario Cup. Really in a hole now is Darlington. A couple big saves. Not able to keep that one out. And they're going to have to find one themselves if they want their way back. Keep in mind, if we are somehow tied, it would be direct to penalties. There would be no extra time. Good job to hold possession here. Hopkins playing the ball forward. Aruda goes over the boot. It will be a foul. She was already off-centered, but I don't think that absolves them of the contact. You heard a boot on a boot. You saw the ball being got, and you saw Aruda already going to ground, but honestly, you could give it either way, and I don't blame the official for making the call. The question is, will it lead them back in? Chia standing over the ball at this point. There's a lot of space on that back post if she can find some room. And it really only means that a quick tap in and redirection towards goal. She's going to have to fire that one to the right side. She does. Looking for the top corner, though, to go at her own. And she saw an opportunity and took it and just pushed it a little too far. So Selena Tansella giving way to teammate Tatiana Boutros. And Boutros, instrumental in setting up the first goal. Pushing forward, Judd's going to have to get on the end of it, but very quick is Tasso going to knock that one out. It will be a corner kick, and it's exactly what's needed if you're Darlington and want to way back into this one in the 60th minute of play. Under 18 girls. Ontario Cup. On a rainy Sunday morning. From the near side, the right foot. Swung in, it could be dangerous. And it's going to go all the way through. It takes a deflection off the keeper and a good job by the defender on the far side to knock it out for a throw. We won't have a corner kick, and they'll have to do it from a little further away. But a great corner whipped in. As the rain finally perhaps stopping for a bit. As everyone in the booth tells me not to tempt fate again, as I've been doing repeatedly. Well, the conditions are a little milder than we've seen even this summer. We were here for the Blainville-Oakville game about a month ago, and one of the hospitality tents was picked up and whipped over the fencing behind us. So the rain we can deal with. The wind, that's a little bit more problematic. That being said, you can tell the comfort of these girls here and how they've adjusted as the game's gone on to what they have to do. Possession has been very good in the latter part. Neruda's been very good as well as she heads around the back. This one takes a deflection off. Tasso will go for another corner kick, the second in as many minutes from the exact same spot. So opportunities picking up for Darlington, and the Energy could use some right now. And a good ball into the 6. Maybe you get lucky with a deflection, or you get a taller player able, and I'd love to see Roberts forward. And I know she's the linchpin at the back to make sure everything runs smoothly, but they could use her height in the 6 at this point. Right foot swung in, could be dangerous. Opportunity for a header, but just going past it. Douglas pushing forward. Flicked back in, staying on side will be Aruda. Can the keeper get there first? She does. And maybe a little bit of extracurricular activities. Aruda might have got an extra boot in on the keeper. Gets a little bit of a talking to from Kwan, and that's all that will come of that. De Silva knocked forward. Pace, right-hand side. Pace happy to step over. Boutros trying to turn. Roberts not having it. Roberts still looking to get a little bit of help, and does. And this one's going to ricochet off the boot of Sequeira. Run out of play, but a throw-in better than the alternative, I guess. De Silva. Good. Judd slipped off her boot, and it'll stay with the Azzurri. De Silva across the face of goal. Going to have to clear. Roberts looking for an opportunity to do so. Sequeira to the left foot. Here's Judd. A nice little breakout here from Darlington, and through the legs, borderline nutmeg there. But no one running onto the ball. Aruda was looking for the ball at her feet with her back to goal. A few wires crossed, and that's been the name of the game, I think, for Darlington today. Push forward, deflected, and they'll going to run out of play, I think, and this might go for a throw for Darlington as they got a deflection. It is, so still trying to find a way back as we creep towards the 65th minute. Douglas going to take the throw on the far side, and it's going to be head coach Richard McPaul going to have to start to think about when he wants to commit girls forward to try and push for a winner, certainly on set pieces. Maybe risk the counterattack, but push a lot of people up and maybe put a little bit of strain on this midfield of Vaughan, who's been so good at finding the empty player, the open player. And Judd, chance now, does a step over. Judd, she can hit from distance, but She was forced to her right and was not able to get over that completely, so the ball skipped out on the far side of the pitch. Out for a goal kick. Playing short right up the middle. Hugo. Taffo. Not happy with her effort as it sliced outside to the near side. Sequeira. Great ball in. Good control by Aruda. Aruda goes to ground. Back up. Possession staying. Nearing. Roberts had to come off her boot, but won a battle with pace, and a good job by Roberts. Hopkins cries for man on. Good job by Chia. Carveth had it, lost it. Aruda. Going to be a problem. And a good job by the keeper. Keep her eye on that one, and that was Kristen Harmon having to look up at a ball that was most certainly had the opportunity anyway to go over her head, but swatting it down right on the goal line in good concentration. Not to be worried about that sort of thing. Sequeira going to have to be right with this. This time, thought about going backwards, comes back up the line. Nearing playing backwards. Roberts now with it at her feet and a little bit more comfortable. Does Blue look? Heading out. Looking for options. Roberts going to send a long ball. Hopkins wasn't on a run. Chia. Aruda going to ground. This one's going to run out of play. It'll be a throw in. No foul called. Spridgen going past it. Douglas to pick it up. Judd. I have to go back, and this one can't be picked up at this point. Judd trying to get in the way, does well to pressure it, but an excellent ball from Harmon, and an even better job by De Silva to hold that one in on the line. Excellent play by the Azzurri playing out of the back. Going to run past it, and it is going to stay out. And it looked like for a while there, the goal scorer, Surqua, might be able to get past it. Played in. Anything for Darlington at this point to provide a spark. Hugo. Knocked forward. Onside. Leah Pace. Leah Pace to double. Pace. Knocked to the ground. Looks like after the ball or simultaneously when the ball was there. I don't know if they called it charging fairly, but either way they didn't call it. And deemed to be clean by the referee, who has had a fairly decent game. Roberts in this case. Ball accidentally came up and hit her hand. Otherwise, that could be considered to be something somewhat nefarious, but I think it was relatively innocent. So a free kick here for the Azzurri. They will take it out of nothing. And in the 69th minute of play, to add an extra one. That one's hit with pace, rebounded, and a good job by Jones to smother it. As that most certainly would have been the death blow. Roberts, pace. Oh, and this one took a ricochet off, and a good job because it came directly to Collicutt, who did well to get it to the outside. Chia and now Roberts painted herself in a box on the far side, plays it up for Douglas, and getting to it first. And it'll stay for a throw as Spridgen did enough of what she needed to do to make sure it wasn't a stretch the other way. So checking into the game will be Emily Shields. Or excuse me, number 17 will be McKenna Williams. Apologies, McKenna Williams checking in, and Vienna Sios will catch a breather as she comes off on the near side. With 20 minutes to go and a 2-0 lead for the Vaughan Azzurri. They have looked full value at this point, and they would love nothing more than to add one more and be able to breathe easy through the last 20 minutes of this game. Flicked in, good ball, good job by Jones coming out, lost it for a second, but it was under her foot, and once again positioning, saving the day for the Darlington side, and being right is Jones as she sends this one away, and boy, would it be a huge boost for her and for the traffic that will no doubt come her way in the last 20 minutes if maybe one could come back. Nearing, right foot, played across. Aruda deadened it a bit, but Williams was there to get in the way and make sure she had no chance to turn and get a shot in on Hardman, who in turn will lay the ball down in her own area and send it tap dead center. Skips all the way to Pace. That ball is going to keep onside for Boutros. Boutros plays around. Nice little play for Boutros. Gets past the first player across. In the middle, goal. A tap in. They've got 3. Well, it's the substitute who just checked into the game. And Williams is on the end of it. And that makes it 3. Well, it was an excellent counter. They played out of the back, up to Pace, finding Boutros. And Madison Gardner checking back into the game for Darlington to shore up the defensive effort, and this one's a little bit too far for Judd. So it actually was Surqua who got on the end of that one on the far side, coming in from her position. That's her second of the game. So Daniela Surqua. Excellent from Vaughan. And now it's just a matter of holding as much possession as possible and being right, and knocked to ground was Pace. It'll be a free kick almost at the center circle. Knocked down and then bumped and going to ground this time by Roberts, who will pay no mind to it, take the ball, and in a very businesslike manner head back up the field. Hopkins takes a ricochet. Williams with a clearance. It's going to skip past, and Leah Pace is going to have a go on goal. This could be 4 if Pace is able to finish. Roberts helping out. Roberts versus Pace. Pace around, far post, and a clinical finish between 2 defenders. Waited, bided her time, and when the opportunity presented itself, hammered it towards the far post to make it 4 for the Vaughan Azzurri. And the floodgates have started to open now, as in the 75th minute. The double from Surqua is matched by a double from Pace. A brace apiece and a 4-0 lead for the Vaughan Azzurri. Another substitution being made. It's Bianca Carusi. We'll check in for her first minutes, and after an excellent game, Jessie Carveth will check out and grab a bib. It's been very difficult to get past all game, and part of the reason there was not a lot happening down that wing. Pace going forward, organization in the back. Aruda across the face of goal, had a good rip, but Hardman equal to the task, and she'll play this out and hammer it towards the far side where pace seems to be everywhere. Roberts now. Track back so well on the last goal, and all Pace did was take a step backwards. Let each defender kind of overrun it and hammer it towards the back post. It's not a whole lot you can do in that scenario other than commit a foul or go in dangerously. It's not really the viable option. Down 3 goals, and it's just sometimes undefendable, and it's certainly a very good effort from Darlington going forward, but it seems every time that they have any semblance of an opportunity, as Aruda is going to try and send this one across, looking for Judd, not able to do that. Every opportunity that would present itself for Darlington was met with excellent defense or a bad bout of luck. But the organization of Vaughan today is certainly the story. Sequeira. Roberts. Chia. Here's Gardner. Gardner taking space forward. Going to put it in. Here's a chance going forward now. But equal to the task is the keeper, and tumbling over the top of her is Spridgen calling for that ball, and Gardner tried to thread it, but Hardman just too good. And we talked a lot about Jones' positioning, keeping it in, but perhaps the fact that we haven't had to talk about Hardman a whole lot speaks to how well she's played today and how well she's commanded that back line. Told them what she expects from them, and a nice flick on from Chia, though it goes all the way to Williams. But her positioning, very, very good. Every time she had to run out for a ball, she was there, and if everything's pretty methodical from a keeper, usually that's a pretty good sign that the keeper's had a good game. Hasn't been tested a whole lot. When she has, she's had answers. So Katrina Harmon would love nothing more to cap this off with a clean sheet in an Ontario Cup final, as 2 more substitutions being made, and checking in will be Hope Jones as well as number 17, Emily Shields. So Jones and Shields in. And a throw in as they continue down, looking for the opener here in the 78th minute. Their opener, I should say. It is a 4-0 lead right now for the Vaughan Azzurri, and they are well on their way to being crowned Ontario Cup champions at the under-18 girls level. Just a formality, really, at this point, barring an unfathomable comeback and change in tone in this game. I'm looking for more, and that's more likely as Pace comes in. Can she get to the end of it? She does, but it's right into the chest of, once again, a well-positioned Jones, who stands her ground as Pace toppling over the top and playing short to Roberts. Chia. Gardner. Swallowed up in the middle. De Silva. Boutros. Diagonal ball did not have enough on it. Still giving 110 as Pace. Trying to turn on the near side. Sequeira, nice little play. Except the player had moved in, and Boutros is going to have an opportunity here on the near side. Pushing it against Collicott, 1v1. Roberts and Pace. Roberts, Pace around her. Goes to ground. Referee says penalty. and will go to the spot. Well, the referee and the linesman on the same page, and I don't know who got it first, but it looked like it was simultaneous. Saw the linesman out of the peripheral vision, and Roberts just let number 6 past her just for a second, and that's all she needs. A little tug in the shoulder. 1v1, and Jones, who has done so much today, even for a morale boost, would love to keep this one out, but a hat trick for number 6 would seem fitting, wouldn't it? It is a stop, pace, rebound, another stop. Well, you can make the argument that she didn't need it. And you can make the argument that maybe Jones deserved to have that great stop as she guessed right, saw the body language, and made a great move to not only stop the initial shot, but the rebound. And on a 4-0 scoreline, if you're the keeper who's been beaten 4 times, it's not often that you'd seem to get a lot of credit, but credit where credit is due to this wonderful young keeper who's done so well for her Darlington side today, and it could be a lot more. So a feather in the hat with a nice penalty stop and a nice morale boost. And quality goalkeeping is going to ground as Aruda. Still no card coming out. You could have seen one there for an errant foot, but at this stage, perhaps we're just going towards the end and trying not to incite too much. We can get through the next 10 minutes without any cards. That might be preferable as a substitution coming forward for the Vaughan Azzurri. Checking back in will be Olivia Lamacchia. Aruda over the ball, right foot, looking center of the box. It's low, right into the wall. Good organization in giving chase to try and prevent a corner. They'll do just that. And it's going to be a foul, actually, on the far side, I believe. Or they'll just say a throw. As Aruda went to ground once again, following up her shot, but throw in the corner. Anyhow, possession to the Vaughan Azzurri in the 82nd minute of a 4-0 scoreline. If you're just joining us, we will have 3 more games for you today. This is the first that we're handing out silverware in. And checking out will be Daniela Chirqua. And her 2 goals today. Goals number 2 and goals number 3. And Lamacchia checking in for the final 7 minutes of this one and already finds herself on the right side. She's got the ball, looking for help forward. Boutros cutting to her left. Good job from Lamacchia across the face of goal. And she put some pace onto it. No one back post, and it was pretty much halfway between a great pass back post and a shot destined for the top left-hand corner. So the rain picked up again. If you're wondering, I did tempt fate. And the substitution again is trying to get more players back into this one. Selena Tansella. And Tansella will go for Alessia De Silva, whose day is done after an excellent day. Outstanding as an attacking mid. And so many chances thwarted for counterattacks by her getting a boot in and an extra bit of English there thrown onto the end. Kind of unnecessary at this point, but it's good to see the tenacity. Hugo rung up for a foul. Judd forward. Hopkins turning it over. This is Jones. And Judd Oh, and taking that one is Collicutt in the stomach, and a little worse for wear, but you see a smile as well. No, she's not that hurt. Shields pushing forward, trying to stress the back line, and Chia gets a boot in. Hopkins tries to get a head up, push on the side. Hopkins coming out with the ball, played across the face of goal, back post. And making a run in on it was Hope Jones, but not able to get there before it would run out for a goal kick. And the 86th minute of play. It is a 4-0 lead for the Vaughan Azzurri. They scored 1 before the half. They've scored 3 in the second half. They have been deadly on the counter. They have been well organized at the back. They have been very good in their finishing. And Aruda, just an absolute pest in the way of the keeper, and she got kicked in the head. She was in the hip pocket of number 9, Julia DiNardo, the captain. And there was a little tug of the jersey before, but then she did really well, as she's done all game, to get her body in position. And when she did, she was sent flying as both bodies came together, and over the top, DiNardo boot just cracked her in what appeared to be in the back of the head, I believe, as they were both going to ground. So a good fight for the ball, nothing necessarily intentional, but that's of little comfort right now to Aruda, who's trying to work through this as best possible. And head coach said he will indicate that there will be a change coming forward. That's Kaylee Spridgen on the near side, getting ready to check into this one. The board will flip. Good sportsmanship there, is coming over to make sure she's okay. Is DiNardo the captain? That's what you'd expect. And after an excellent day and things just not going the way of Lauren Aruda, opportunities in, creating a lot going forward, but up against a back four that was very, very good. But a good competitive spirit and good sportsmanship spirit here is playing it back to the keepers, Sequeira, and maybe checking to see if there's a little bit of an evaluation. Want to be obviously very sure about any head injuries or anything that would fit that category, especially this late in the game when it's only a formality and being brought to ground, as Gardner was trying to track down the Azzurri from behind. As the referee is looking for some sort of a card, and Kwan will at least give a talking to Gardner. And the talking will come in the form of a raised hand with a yellow piece of plastic in it. The referee had to think about that one for a second and getting back to her feet. I believe it was Pace that did go to ground, so forgive me, it was difficult to see her number from this side of the field, and just limping gingerly in the 89th minute on a free kick sent in. That's a good one. And it just goes over, but what a rocket. That was a great shot from the far side and a good go at goal. Up 4-0 or otherwise. But Hugo with a just thundering hit on a free kick. Can't be a whole lot of injury time. I would wager about 3 minutes. We'll find out shortly. Past Chia. Sequeira. Shields. And Boutros playing it backwards to Silva. Williams plays out. Played in. Chia, nice little turn. Able to create some room. Hopkins with a nice turn as well. Try to get past Williams and plays this one into the middle. Popped up, calling for it. And a good push forward by Collicutt is giving chase into the corner is Hopkins, taking the easy knockout with 15, 13, 12, and 10 to go in regular time. One more opportunity. Spridgen versus Williams. Knocking it out. It will, in fact, be 3 minutes of additional time. A 4-goal lead for the Azzurri. They have been full value for their victory today and were the Ontario Cup champions. And an excellent effort in what was a tight game for most of it, with the Darlington energy. And this one's pushed forward. Opportunity here for Lamacchia. Lamacchia to make it 5 to her left foot. She does. It's an exclamation point on a Vaughan Azzurri victory in injury time. Lamacchia pushing forward. And as she dragged it to the penalty spot, she put it near post. And a 5-0 lead now for the Azzurri on what is their home turf, or their home soil, if it not their home turf. But enough that you get a few parents nearby and a quick drive from surrounding neighborhoods and what has become a very, very good club at the senior men's level, women's level, and all stops in between along the development train. And it's been an excellent day for Anthony Vidori and assistant Jordan Feliciano, and all of the girls in Vaughan will walk away as Ontario Cup champions in 2018 as the whistle imminent at this stage. Pushing forward for Darlington, Spridgen. Kaylee Spridgen with a nice run down the side, and just staying in her hip pocket now is Williams, not allowing her to turn. Good defense. Hopkins. Oh, almost found her way through looking for a goal. Spridgen, left foot across the face. It'll be one more corner kick for Darlington, as the clean sheet is what's on defenders and on Katrina Harmon's mind, and finding at least one consolation goal would be wonderful for the energy right now. If the girls in blue could muster one. They've been very good actually on corner kicks. They've put the ball in a good spot almost every time they've had an opportunity. This will be their last one today, I figure. And it will be a left foot. And it does go out of play, apparently. And immediately when it came off and dipped back in. So trouble on the 6 in the near post, but all for naught. And they're just going to send this one up into the rainy morning. Referee checking her watch. Still a little bit of time. And that's enough of it. The champions of the Ontario Cup and the under-18 girls, Vaughan Azzurri. An outstanding performance. Goals from Pace, Chirqua, and Olivia Lamacchia capped it all off in injury time with the 5th. An excellent game and good teamwork for the girls in white and red.